You know what? I always try to like keep myself, somewhat grounded. It's tough, getting all this gear in and you get exposed to some of this higher end stuff, and you really kind of start to get spoiled when you start to personally experience some of the gains that you get in jumping up in these levels of gear and outside of kind of the mid-fi space or like the ultra budget space that's on fire right now out there in the industry. Everybody's, all raving about these, cheap $100, $200 amplifiers and, all this, AliExpress, like super cheap stuff that you can get and all these different clones. And yeah, I think there are some gems out there in kind of that, lo-fi entry level kind of mid-fi space as you kind of get up into that. I think you can find some gems that kind of stand out, and we've highlighted a few of those in the past. But I really like to kind of stay grounded a little bit, or try to stay grounded. So in that respect, I found something recently that was sent to us. It is a cheap tube amplifier. It's a single-ended tube amplifier, about 3.5 watts, 6 watts, depending on where they're taking their measurements and how they're, measuring it. And it's the Boyo Sound F5, little teeny nice integrated amplifier. We're going to talk about that today. It's like $300, and we got this thing in, man, and I'm telling you, I hooked it up to my 1989 heavily modified and upgraded Forte II speakers. And I was just like, what the hell, man? Like, this thing is like sounding really decent for $300. I was not mad about it at all. It wasn't the most refined, pinpoint, and accurate, but it had a lot of that really cool tube vibe, and I got a lot of that kind of spaciousness and the sound staging, the width of stage and the depth and kind of the holographicness was all there. It sounded good, and I thought, man, I got to send this one over to Kelly to get his ears on it, because we've done a lot of this cheap stuff before, and he's always the guy who's going to be like, oh, no, that's not that good. No, that one is pretty good, James, whereas I kind of see the benefit of kind of all of them. I can at least appreciate it. It makes sound. It sounds pretty decent, and he'll kind of dive in a little bit deeper to the nuances. So I sent this over to him for a deep dive, and he reached back immediately in the Discord. If you guys haven't gotten our Discord, you got to be a part of our Discord, man. The charity work that we're doing with the youth musical programs, over $15,000 raised and donated in the last couple years, and our Discord is just alive with conversation and camaraderie and no drama. So if you want to see all of this stuff unfold in real time, make sure you get in our Discord. Because you'll hear all of this stuff before the review. Most of our Discord members probably don't even watch our reviews anymore because they're like, we've already heard James talk about it so much. So let's take a look at this F5. I think Duke Audio makes it. I'm assuming that there's a factory in China somewhere that produces this bass tube amplifier, and then these brands buy it and put their name on it because they like it and it's kind of what they want to do. So let's check this guy out, talk about how it sounds, and we'll get rocking and rolling. All right, so that was a look of the unit. I've got it actually right here behind me. Let me grab it, and we can kind of get into some of the specifics of this thing. But, you saw it in the little pictures there. It's got a nice little chrome chassis. It's got a nice, shine to it. The tubes that it comes with are okay. It gives you a list of tubes that you can roll. We actually dropped some... why is it focusing on my damn thing? It always tries to focus on the... Let's see if we can get it to change. There we go. It always tries to focus on the microphone. You can swap some different tubes in it. So it says here that you can put EL34s. There's an array of tubes that you can kind of put in there and swap around. You can swap around the preamp tube. They give you the list if you go on the Boyo Sound website. It's pretty heavy. It's substantial transistors. I mean, it is a real tube amplifier. It's not some of these kind of like cheesy fake hybrid things where, you know, the tubes only run through the preamp stage or, you know, something like that. It really is an actual tube amplifier. You've got the on and off knob. It feels substantial. It's got a nice resistance. I'm not mad about it at all. The volume knob is smooth. There's no grit. It feels good. They got this nice, you know, little plaque on here. The thing is built really well. It's got some little holes for a screen, but mine didn't come with a screen, so I don't know if you can get it with a screen to cover up the tubes, but mine didn't come with it. But it's got the little holes here. You can see them where it would like sit down in there. I didn't open up the circuit. But it's got nice little feet on it. Got rubber little bottoms on it. You can take the bottom chassis off here and check this out. If you're interested in something like this, guys, you can get these on Amazon, $300. They'll be there in 2 days. If you've got a decently sensitive speaker or a small set of little, you know, bookshelves or something, or, you know, you even got some, you know, headphone adapter or something that you could use with this thing, it would be fun, and it's worth just kind of checking out. You know, like I said, the sound is good. The bass is okay. Everything's okay. It sounds good for a $300 tube amp, and it'll give you a flavor of some of that kind of holographicness in that sound stage. We actually went to the nines. We put a set of Cryotone EL34s in it. They're like $250 tubes. We put like a $300 power cable on it. You know, I ran like my, you know, $20,000 of front end gear into this thing, and, you know, through the baffles and through the fortes, and we had a good time messing around with it. On the back, it's just got your standard binding posts. The cool thing about this for $300 is you get the 8 ohm and the 4 ohm taps, so you could jump around there depending on what you want to do. It's got 2 inputs, so you could run, you know, a DAC to it, you know, a CD player to it, you know, whatever. If you had a phono preamp, you could run your turntable to this, and then it's got a little selector switch here that you can change between the two. So you do have to kind of reach behind it if you want to change the inputs, but that's okay. Standard power plug. You know what? Overall, this is just one of those ones that I thought, man, it's cheap, it's easy to get, it's easy to return, and if you got some sensitive speakers, you know, it'd be fun to kind of check it out. You know, if you're kind of thinking about getting into tubes, this is one of those that's going to give you that tube sound, and it sounds really good. Kelly super enjoyed the sound of it. You know, like I said in the Discord, he was all about it, man. He was like, damn, $300, this thing sounds nice. He threw it up against his Musical Paradise and some of his other stuff that he's got, and we really enjoyed it. So, hey, anyways, that's me bringing you some budget stuff, and I hope you enjoyed that, and check this guy out. You know, like I said, on Amazon, you can get them next day. You can mess around with it. You can send it back the next day and get your money back. They do it instantly these days. So why not try some of this cool stuff and kind of, you know, build your Rolodex of sound that you've heard. You know, maybe you find a new tube that you like, or, you know, something like that. But anyway, I appreciate you guys. James, your ABX Audiophile, the world's only nonprofit charity reviewer. 100% of the money we make at this channel goes directly to support youth musical programs. Over $15,000 raised and donated already in the last couple years. I do not get paid. I do not get sponsored. I do not get compensated for any of this stuff. And this is just my true and personal experience, sharing my journey in audio with you guys. And, you know, I really try to not be influenced and bring you as unbiased of a review as I can. Just giving you guys my experience and personal taste. So anyway, if you guys appreciate that, you know, hit that like, hit that subscribe, leave me a comment, jump in our Discord, go over to our Patreon and send us $5 a month. All that money goes to the charity too. And if you're in our Discord, guys, we are actually raffling this guy off. If you stayed this long, this is where you get the details at the end of my review. If you are in our Discord, you can go to my website and you can buy a raffle ticket for this guy. It's $20, gives you 1 marble in the marbles race. We'll be doing a live marbles race where the winner of that marbles race will actually get this tube amplifier sent to them, autographed by me, the ABX Audiophile. No, it won't be autographed. That's kind of cheesy, but I mean, I suppose if you wanted it autographed, I would, but that'd be kind of weird. But anyway, yeah, there you go, guys. Have a good day. Woo.